questioning is not the same as whether or not one is. So, like, I'm trying to draw a delineation between the 12-year-old who says that's a girl biologically, but says, "I'm a man," or "I'm a boy now," and the person that has known that they're the wrong gender and has been working on their identity and figuring out who they are for, like, 12 years, and they know that they are this other gender. Like, these are not the same people. This is not the same claim. One is still questioning, even if they say,
Mhm.
"I'm a boy." And I forget what the original fucking topic was even at this point, but the person that says, "I am boy," I'm comparing here to being gay. Like, that's not going to happen just because it's in the social zeitgeist. You could so it's a question mark, and I would say a possibility for sure that you could develop a gender because you were socialized into it very heavily. But again, I want to delineate between that, the heavily female coded young boy who decides that he's a female and sticks with it, maybe even most of his life. I want to distinguish between that and knowing that people can be a different gender and having people out there who are willing to affirm your gender. Like that those two
But
things.
one is
The
easier to
one that's
measure
socialized.
objectively. The question of like sexuality is easier to measure objectively by saying like, okay, you're more attracted to this
I don't
thing.
think either one is easier to measure objectively. I think
I
they're
think
both
sexuality is a little easier to measure objectively than if you were meant to be a certain gender.
meant to I don't know what meant to be means. What I'm saying is I'm just trying to draw a delineation between people who are questioning and people that are actually have been socialized as a gender. Okay, now we can talk about being socialized, being forced down your throat in a social sense versus naturally socialized into that path. But either way, that person either is that gender or is not, um, is what I'm saying. Like I'm saying that I don't care if you're forcefully being
Oh.
socialized into that gender. Um, you're still that gender, that doesn't matter, but the questioning person is not necessarily that gender, and that matters here.
Fair enough. Keep going.
I also get super duper extra triggered by the they them pronouns because it stirred up this whole debate where people don't speak English and they're like, "You can't use they that way." And it's like, "What do you mean? Are you fucking retarded?" No, well, they is for plural, multiple people. You can only use it no. Let's say that I knew someone who went to the store, but I couldn't remember their name, and for whatever reason, I'm not using a gender, pronoun, which happens. I could say,
Let me give
"Yeah,
you
they" I could say,
let me give you
"Yeah,
a
they
better
went"
scenario. Let me give you a better scenario. What if you're
I
a
could say,
teacher?
"Yeah, they went to the store last week." That
Mhm.
works. It doesn't mean there's more than one.
What if you are a college professor, let's say, and you have a lot of students, you don't and you have a lot of names and you don't know their gender?
Yeah, using they is fine for a singular. I don't
It
see a
was just
problem with that.
wild because that was, like, the first response to it societally in the zeitgeist that I was privy to, was like, "You can't use they unless it's plural, that's not how words work." It was all so degenerate, that's all I'm saying.
Mhm,
Go ahead.
mhm.
Because under her definition of gender, I can just say that I'm a squirrel gender, and now I am. Oh, sorry, as long as I do express myself that way, then I am now a squirrel gender, and I just don't agree with that. What do you
Yeah,
guys
Why?
think?
well with some of the definitions I've heard it really does become meaningless. The idea of
Okay.
gender becomes completely
The thing
meaningless.
is that people confuse definition of what something is and how you determine it. It's not the same thing, right? I mean, of course, I don't have much better ways of determining somebody's gender than just asking them, to be honest. I mean, obviously, I can guess it, but I'm saying probably the best way would be asking them. But it doesn't mean that that's a definition. You know what I mean?
Do you
Like the
mean, like,
definition.
an absolute truth about that person's reality of their gender? Is that what you're saying as to ascertaining that particular person's gender?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like the
yeah,
best
okay,
way.
affirming a
Yeah,
truth about it. Okay, gotcha.
but that's different than saying what gender actually is. I think that
Yeah.
would be a deeper kind of concept, right? Than just
Sure,
asking.
I still feel though that if you yeah, I see what you're saying, but for me, I don't think that you are a gender until you are being registered to some degree by society as that gender. That's my issue, and I don't know if
Well,
that's necessarily a definition versus identification issue.
yeah, I mean that's sort of a subtler thing, which is like, yeah, there's a difference between, yeah, I mean, your like your gender expression versus your gender, I guess, wishes or whatever. Like,
Yeah,
yes, if everybody treats you like a woman, in a sense, you're made a woman to some extent. Yeah, I think so. But yeah, a drink, huh?
so when Daniel's mom kissed him when he was a young boy, right? She gave these
In
big,
that,
wet, sloppy kisses, and he got
but in
herpes
that little,
from it.
in his tickly spot, right?
I don't think so, but he did get herpes from it, and it's really such a
Mhm.
shame. He has such a beautiful personality.
Well, but you know why now he's into feet? Because feet are the only part of the body that doesn't get herpes. You know,
Yeah.
did you know that? Yeah.
It's not a bad point. It's truly
Mhm.
not.
Wait,
Uh,
what?
Man, I really wanted to exercise, but I can't. It's agitating my surgery. Maxos, you're gay. Did you ever have to get butthole surgery?
no, not yet. Although, I mean, I might as well with that fucking guy. Oh my god, Jesus, that felt like surgery and no anesthesia. If you know what I'm talking about.
This is some serious surgery, my guy. Oh my god. You gotta protect that butthole. You need to lube up like it is fucking going out of style because this is a real surgery. My god.
Well,
Ooh, it's been like let me check. I think it's been 2 weeks now.
God bless your
Oh,
asshole.
not
I just
quite.
want to
It's
say that.
been a week and a half, but it's still so hard to sit down. I couldn't
So,
exercise for more than like 4 or 5 minutes, even though I was going real slow. Oh,
mm,
it hurts. They
oh
had to
no.
give me hydrocodone at the
Whoa,
beginning.
you're getting
So,
hooked up?
I mean, I guess morphine would have been better, but they didn't have that slow drip for me, you know? You been on morphine?
No, I'm not.
That's some good shit, dude.
Really?
Like, I'll tell you, if you were in a war and you were to lose a limb,
Sure.
morphine is where it's at. You'd be hitting on people. You'd be so 100 again.
You'll be like, yeah, give me some more of that shrapnel.
Is she just talking about just like everyone on this fucking stupid planet? Every fucking stupid human being tries to fit into
No,
some kind of fucking like
she's
she's
talking
being dumb.
about a trend that's existed in humanity for at least as long as the social zeitgeist has been around. At least until like the industrial from now backing up until the industrial revolution, where there's this trend of like, when we grow up, we want to fit in, and if we don't fit in into and there's always going to be some people that don't fit into like one of the preset like groups, whatever that means for your time period. And she's just saying these people are finding identity in transness. That's all she's saying.
Or they can just be trans and finding their community,
No, but
which
the
is not what
reason
she's
why
saying, which
yeah,
is
right, but
idiotic of
that's
her.
why she's saying what she is saying though, is some of these people do you not remember what the movie is that we're some of these people that just that think that they're questioning that they're trans, or maybe they even get to these like big number years of having been what they believe to be trans, change their mind. That's
Oof.
why she's talking about this concept where people don't fit in. And one of the groups, one of the identities you can latch onto, remember when is a weird statement. It became a bit of a trend. It became like an identity. It did. It did do transness. Became a bit of an identity. A group, like gay pride, something to latch onto and flesh out for your personality. This happened. I mean, you don't deny that, right? Because that's what she's pointing to, whether rightly or wrongly.
A chance.
got me at
Wait, I'm
42.
confused. Did she
They were
transition
42
at
when they
42?
transitioned. Yes, that's what they're saying. They're so dumb. Holy fuck, what a poster
Jesus.
child.
Holy fuck, man. Oh my
What
god.
an idiot.
This is only going in one
Idiot
direction.
loser.
You will
But to be
respect
fair,
us.
that if that idiot loser genuinely came across this and did transition and genuinely regrets it, and they're genuinely that stupid, they should be. If I was that person, I would be shit scared for kids. Like, at least if all those things are true, they have an honest position that's come to naturally and probably rightly, at least for their reality. Unlike Jordan Peterson.
Yeah, well, I can see that. Like, if you're assuming everyone is as influenceable as me, and even
Yeah.
more so as a kid,
Yes.
then it's like, holy shit, they could convince kids to do
Yes, if
anything.
you're the biggest
Everything.
idiot in the
So
room,
stupid.
and then you're looking at kids in the same room, you're like, oh no, oh god.
Right. Yeah, they would be even infinitely more susceptible to what I did. Yeah.
Tell him about the breast thing, Daniel.
It should be
Tell him
himself
to
in
You
the
do
bed
see,
next to
you
him.
see, there's
Fucking loser.
these things we call buds.
Buzz off.
I knew it!
Breast
I knew
bud.
you were gonna bring it up again.
I told him to. Are
Somehow
you
this
fucking
madness
kidding
has
me?
infected our entire society.
We must respect the buds.
Am I the crazy
Yeah.
one? I'm done
Hit him
asking
with a
questions.
bud.
Bro,
Such
you're
an
so such a loser.
Yeah. Could you imagine being a trans person and watching? I mean, I'm sure you could relate, Bad Star. Like, and having someone on the news saying you don't exist. That's just crazy to me for like the 2020s.
Hold on.
I live like
Wait, why
basically
would
in
I be
Loudoun
able
County.
to Hold on, why would I be able to relate to this? What?
Wait, what'd you say, Daniel?
I was just saying, I basically live in Loudoun County, like directly next to it.
Oh, so
The county they're talking about right now.
you're familiar with the culture.
I have no idea what they're talking about, but I've probably seen it on the local news.
Trans people don't exist, and the
Oh.
bathroom rapes.